Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thinking Thursdays. I'm filming this on my phone. I'm going to be doing this for a while because I'm having a couple of little issues with my laptop again. You may hear some music in the background that I do not have a copyright to off and on because my grandson is going to be playing with his star, which plays Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I might start Shrek if he gets bored from time to time because that's what he was watching. Great movie, or great movie. It is a great movie, but there's great music on Shrek, is what I was trying to say. This is set up at a kind of weird angle because I have it sitting on top of my laptop and a couple of other things. But anyway, welcome, as I said, to Thinking Thursdays, where all thoughts are positive. Um, there might be some in here today that are not necessarily completely positive, but you can't have positive thoughts without some at least semi-negative thoughts, in my personal opinion. And just want to start off by talking about how fortunate I am. Our country had a lot of severely Arctic cold temperatures a week or two ago, and again last week, I believe it was. There was some ice, there was some snow. We did get a good amount of the sleet, like the thunder sleet that looked like little balls of hail. And there was some hail in with that, from what I understand. But our power stayed on. We have an excellent power company, and I did get out one time, yes, one time when I was there, and the roads were treated well, and it was not very treacherous. But I feel like we're fortunate that we did not get way more of all of that stuff than we did. And I'm also fortunate to have the family and friends that I have, especially my sweet little grandson, who you can hear playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in the background, and of course the rest of my family, my awesome children, all of my grandkids, my parents, my siblings. I'm just blessed to have a very good family. Um, oh yes. So I have, I'm going to do something for people to think about during these, and that's mostly what the one for today is, because for the positive part, I just wanted to talk about, of course, the good things that have happened in my life recently, as well as how thankful and grateful I am for the things that I do have. I don't have a vehicle that runs. I can borrow my son's vehicle from time to time, and I do have some people who can take me places if I need to go. There's also a grocery store within walking distance, two of them actually, within walking distance of my house, less than a mile away, I believe. So, here are my positive things for this week. I finished the series Wizards of Waverly Place. And I was going to go through and see, I got to thinking about it. There are quite a few series that little Joey and I have finished. And there were a couple more that I had finished, but I couldn't think of what they were. And I was going to look. I know, of course, I'm keeping up with The Masked Singer because I do vlogs for it, and I Can See Your Voice. I did pretty good guessing on that for last week's episode. And I watched the Domino Masters thing. If you guys haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's really interesting. I didn't like it as well as Lego Masters, but it was still really interesting. But like me and him finished watching Chuggington, unless they have new episodes, which I was going to check. We finished watching Fireman Sam. We finished watching Super Wings. I think we finished watching it twice and are watching it again. We finished watching PJ Masks and are watching it again. So there's quite a bit of stuff that I've finished watching with him. But there were some other things that I had finished watching that I forgot that I'd finished watching that I was going to make a note of, and I never did. Anyway, that being said, last week, when I was supposed to have made this, but I believe it was last week, I was going to say I made all three of my vlogs this week, even if they were a bit late. This is my Thinking Thursdays vlog from last week, and this is Wednesday of this week, so I should have another one coming up tomorrow, right? And I am also working on my Mystery Mondays vlog. I'm hoping to get it posted before today is over. I may not be able to do that, but hopefully I will. I had filmed this video, but I couldn't find it, so I'm re-filming this one. But anyway, I got a little more exercise than I normally do and felt better for the most part, probably because I did get a little more exercise than I normally do. I've also been losing a little bit of weight, about a third to a half a pound a day, which had me staying consistently about 4 to 5 pounds below where I had been. And then I've gained up about another pound, so I have to watch what I eat more and how many times I eat and make sure that I am still more active. Gotta chase that little guy some. He's not walking yet, but he crawls, so he keeps me more active than I was. So of course I babysat my grandson, which I'm doing right now. He stayed the night last night, which was awesome. Always is. I saw all of my kids who lived near me and texted with my siblings and parents, and I've been texting with my other daughter. I set a reminder on the gal over here to text her every other day around the time that I know that she normally wakes up to get ready for work. So I also found out that 2 of the places I applied to work at are not hiring for what I applied for, or are not going to hire me for that position. Um, I know that seems like it's a negative, but I'm looking at it as a positive because at least now I know that they aren't going to hire me, which motivates me to apply elsewhere. And I still need to contact the grocery store down the road and see what positions they're hiring for and what shifts they need people to work, and then fill out an application if they have something that works with my schedule, since I do babysit young one back here. So for better or worse, I decided to make my own club for one of the games I play. It's called Tiki Solitaire, and I made my own club, which is called Tiki Trimmers. It's up to 12 people now. We're doing fairly good, though our tributes keep, the volcano keeps erupting, which makes we have to do extra tributes because we're not doing enough tributes every day, but it's a pretty fun game. It's been challenging to be the person in charge of it because I generally did log on 2 to 3 times a day to play it, and now that I'm in charge, I feel like I need to do more. So I've been logging on sometimes 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 times a day. You can collect 1,000 coins every 20 minutes. You can request 1,000 coins from your friends, which you get up to 5,000 every 4 hours. So it's like, yeah, not doing it every 4 hours. Of course, he's throwing teething rings out of his playpen trying to get my attention. But anyway, as I said, for better or worse, I decided to start my own club because the club that I was in had literally 3 active people, and then one of them became inactive. So there were 2 of us trying to do everything. And whenever the current leader had not been on for 14 days, they made this one person the leader, and she, whichever, the person needed to kick a bunch of people who were not active from our club, but they didn't do it. So our club was like full with, at the level we were at, it could have up to 30 people. So there were 30 people in it who were not doing anything. 28 who were not doing anything. And I'm like, you need to kick some people, but he apparently never reads the chat, which didn't help. So I was like, I'm going to make my own club and see how well it does. But anyway, that being said, of course, I play that on my phone, and it's already better than the one I was in because everyone is active. Though right now, I think there are 2 people that have been inactive for 4 days and 1 person that's been inactive for 3 days, and I'm going to try to make it where anyone who is not active, like if you're inactive for 30 days, you get the boot. I just saw pop up on my phone, there was a 7.3 earthquake in Japan. So wow, our thoughts are going to be with all those people in Japan over the next couple of days. So now I'm going to talk about the things I want you to think about. So this is an article that I thought was very, very interesting. It was published on July the 8th, 2020 on Forbes online. They posted this very interesting article on their website. It's called Foreigners Reveal 17 weird things Americans do. Don't worry, I'm not talking about all 17 of them. I think I might discuss 6 or 7 of them. We will see. You help me count that. So, 17 weird things Americans do that we think are normal. So, first of all, as I often do, I'm a very, very picky person when it comes to grammatical type things. I have to wonder if this list actually includes Canada, Central and South America, or if when they say Americans, they simply mean people from the US, which is the way that people from the US often tend to talk about ourselves. We're Americans. Everyone from all of those countries should be considered Americans, and I think I woke my youngest son up during my video. Anyway, so my question was answered in their very first sentence of their article, LOL. This question originated, they said, on Reddit when a user asked the question and it went viral. Though the Forbes author knows the rest of the world is very different, I'm sorry, though the Forbes author knows people from the U.S. who travel to other countries, quote, know the rest of the world is very different, end quote, it appears she does not know America includes more countries than only the U.S. And it also appears that several of the commenters, even one from Canada, and the original poster of the article don't realize that America includes more than just the U.S. It's, North America doesn't even just include the U.S. It's the U.S. and Canada, and I believe Mexico. And then Central America is a whole bunch of countries. Mexico might be part of Central America. I never can remember that. I think it's part of North America. And then, of course, there's also South America. But anyway, that being said, here are some of the thoughts she shared. The word entree means entrance in France, which I knew because I had an English teacher who also taught France, and the way that she would tell us to come into her class if she had the door locked and we had to wait out in the hall was entrez-vous. So, entree, enter. Anyway, and therefore is generally an appetizer. Entree generally refers to appetizer in other countries, yet in the U.S., restaurants often use this term to refer to the main course, which is very interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. Also, they say, we start off our day with sugar. That's not true for everyone in the U.S., but apparently someone from another country thinks it is. As for me, I eat sugary stuff when I darn well feel like it. Hopefully it doesn't cause me to turn out to be diabetic. There's sometimes that I'm like, oh, maybe I've had too much sugar and I stop eating sugary stuff for a while. So, several of the people who commented on this question on Reddit stated they don't understand why we feel the need to tip our servers when we go out to eat. This tells me literally one thing, this tells me literally one thing. Wait staff in those countries doesn't get paid 1/2 to 1/4, possibly even 1/5 to 1/8 the amount of the rest of the restaurant staff does. Sadly, here they do, because I don't remember, it was in the mid-80s, I think, some president that was in charge of our country decided to make, I think that would have been one of the Bushes or possibly Reagan. Anyway, they decided to make a minimum wage for wait staff because they did receive tips, but not all of them actually did. So, yes, Joey, hi, how are you doing back there? But yeah, so anyway, a cook may make $10 to $20 an hour while their wait staff is likely lucky if they make $3 to $5 an hour, and they have to actually deal directly with the customers. So they very much deserve tips in this country because a lot of them aren't making hardly anything at all, not counting the tips. So another comment that was on it is they say we drive too much, which I feel is true for most of the United States, but definitely not true for all. There are cities like New York where the majority of people who actually live there don't even own a vehicle because they walk everywhere. how far we will drive is mentioned, and I like what was posted by Grand Truels, I believe it's how you pronounce their username. Quote, one of my favorite sayings is, to Europeans, 100 years is a short time, but 100 miles is a long distance. To Americans, again, they only mean people in the US, clearly. And they said to Americans, 100 years is a long time, and 100 miles is a short distance, end quote. So another thing that they found weird about us is that we wear our shoes inside, which I have a daughter who tried to have everyone take off their shoes when they came into her house, and even the rest of the family, myself included, would forget that that's what she wanted us to do. That was actually when she was living where I live now. But yes, taking your shoes off at the entrance does help keep your home much more clean than if you wear your shoes inside your house and track in all the mud and dirt from outside. So aside from a few countries, according to the article, people from other countries don't understand baseball at all, which I thought was very interesting. It said Japan, the Dominican Republic, have baseball teams and therefore understand baseball, but the majority of the countries do not understand the rules of it or why we are so obsessed with baseball. I don't watch it near as much as I used to. In fact, I've not seen a baseball game except for when I was delivering food for quite some time. And the last one, and one I totally agree with, is what they call not letting go of our past. Though I'm sure many in the United States would call it respecting their ancestors. A user with a very cool username, Blue Green Tree, makes me think of a spruce, explained, quote, identifying as your heritage instead of your nationality. Americans, their words, not mine, will say that they're Italian, German, Polish, etc. when they don't speak the language and have no real connection to those countries anymore, end quote. I honestly don't feel like that applies to most Italians living here, but I may be wrong. I don't feel like it applies to the Russians living here and a lot of the Germans either, because a lot of them travel back to the countries that they were from. Russians, I'm sure, aren't allowed to do that anymore, and a lot of them do still speak the language of their people. But they go on to say more. In other parts of the world, people just identify with the country they were born in or have lived in for a significant amount of time, regardless of their ancestry, end quote. And I think that that is very, very, very interesting. That they brought that up is one of the things that is weird about us, because I've always been like, why do they still call themselves Africans? Why do they still call themselves Chinese? Why do they still call themselves, like, why do we call the Puerto Ricans Puerto Ricans instead of Americans? Puerto Rico is a territory of America. So, like, yeah, I've always kind of wondered that. You doing okay, bub? He says, no, I'm throwing all my clothes out. Is this door not working? He's like, I'm kissing this door. It's not kissing me back, Grandma. So I know that not all of my subscribers and viewers are from the United States. There are some I know in the UK and Australia. And thank you for subscribing and viewing, guys. And make sure you share on your social media. But I'm going to leave you all with that thought. The thoughts about things that people from other countries think are weird about us, people from the United States. Until next time, everyone have a great whatever time of night or day it is in your part of the world. Stay safe and stay positive. And I'm going to make this little dude more positive by checking on him and giving him some snuggly, cuddly lovin's. Later, y'all.